What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I have to apologize. I lost a good portion of my audio while recording this video, so I'm going to have to do a voiceover. But welcome to my series of videos where I'm teaching myself the TIG weld using nothing more than YouTube. So today, I think I'm going to try an outside corner. I'm going to do things a little bit different here on the outside corner. This is 120 thou thick material, so I should be setting up at about 120 amps when doing a regular joint. But I think for the outside corner, since you're going to be welding along that edge, I'm going to drop the amperage down and start around 90. I think that's going to be a good setting where I won't have to worry about blowing out that edge, overheating the edge, and causing a lot of issues welding along the very edge of the material. So I got the corner here set up on a clamp, a little magnetic clamp. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this thing tacked together and we'll get started. Before I get into the video, I want to say something real quick about these weld coupons. So I've been buying weld coupons online from places like Amazon, Weld Metals Online, and up to this point I've had really good luck. I mean, everything I've been getting has been nice, quality, cold rolled steel, basically little to no prep, just wipe it down with acetone and go. Up until this last batch. So I bought this batch off Amazon, and this stuff honestly is basically like anything I could pull out of my scrap pile. It's hot rolled, it's got rust, it's got mill scale on it. Be careful with what you're buying. Make sure you're getting quality materials, otherwise it's going to take a lot more prep. Like I said, Weld Metals Online, I've got a batch of metal coming from them right now. Great company to work with. They provide real quality material. Other stuff on Amazon I found, again, has been really good, cold rolled. It's just this batch I ordered because I wanted it here quickly. It was basically an overnight shipment. I got it real quick so I can make this video, but I'm paying for it in the long run. The quality is just isn't there. It's hot rolled. It's going to take a lot more prep. So just be careful with what you're buying. Make sure you know what you're getting, and make sure you buy just quality material. All right, so here I'm just getting my work area cleared out. I've got the two weld coupons on one of those strong hand magnets. I'm going to tack these things together and we'll start welding this together at 90 amps. All right, guys, so I've got the machine set for 90 amps. I'm just going to run a very short bead, maybe, I don't know, an inch, just to see how everything flows out. I'm also working with a small filler rod. This is actually, what is this? Oh, let me see. A 1/16 filler rod. Might be too small for this, but I'm going to give it a try. I said I'm starting at 90 amps. So let's just see how this goes. And again, working around the GoPro here is a little difficult, but we'll make it work. Actually, I didn't even add any filler to that. I was watching the puddle. I like the way that turned out with no filler. That was just a fusion weld. Yeah, that was no filler, guys. That was, I mean, it's definitely could have used some, but there you can see 90 amps with no filler. I think you guys can see that. I'm going to run a bead right behind it and add some filler this time. And I'll leave a little bit of a gap. Hopefully get the realigned so the camera can see it. I'm going to try adding a little bit of filler this time. I like the way that turned out though. I didn't blow the edge out. A couple pinholes there right in the beginning. But yeah, I kind of like that. I'm going to try it. I said, adding just a little bit of filler. Staying with 90 amps. Again, guys, I think that 90 amp setting on this right off the bat is looking really nice. I got the gas set up at about 20 CFM. I actually just picked up an actual flow meter. So what this does is this goes on the end of the torch, and then you turn the machine on, get the gas flow, and that can actually tell you what the gas flow is out of the torch. This is in liters per minute as opposed to SCFH on the bottle. So there's some math you got to do. But overall, what the bottle says is pretty much exactly what's coming out of the torch, about 20 CFH. But again, that adding that little bit of filler in there, I really like that, guys. So it's the lower bead. I did leave a little space between the two. That's 90 amps. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to crank the machine up to about 100 and come at it from the other side and see what happens. All right, so same thing. I'm at 100 amps. I'm going to do this with no filler. Just see how the fusion goes. We'll give that a try. All right, so the 100 amp, it definitely, obviously the puddle started a little bit faster. It did kind of degrade that edge a little bit. But again, guys, I don't think that's too bad. Right there at the top is the 100 amp setting, no filler wire. I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to add some filler to finish out. We'll do the rest of this space, this last inch or so. And hopefully I'm getting a good angle with the GoPro here to show that weld. But yeah, well, now I'm going to go 100 amps with filler. Not too bad, guys. I really like that. The backside got some, even where there's no filler on the backside, I did get some good, so it's a little bit there. Let's see if you can kind of right about there. It was the 100 amps with filler. Not too bad. And then all along the backside, oops. You can see that's the backside, some decent penetration through there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep 2 more pieces, and I'm going to crank the machine up to 110 amps. Let's see what happens. All right, now we're going to jump up to 110 amps and do no filler and then use filler. Okay, and 110 amp with filler. All right, guys, so here are the results of the 110 amp setting. So the top is going to be with no filler, just like before, and the bottom is with the filler. I really like the way this turned out. The puddle formed nice and fast, and I did have to move obviously a lot faster than I did at the 90 or the 100 amp. Without the filler, obviously it's looking a little flat, almost concave, and then with the filler, I'm really happy with the way that turned out, except for I did miss the root a couple of times. Adding the filler, I kind of hit off to the side a little bit. But overall, I really like the way this 110 amp setting turned out. I just need to work on, obviously, my control of the filler rod, getting it down inside the joint rather than touching the sides. But yeah, guys, this 110 amp setting turned out really, really nice. I'm really happy the way that turned out. It was actually a good movement speed for me. It felt a little fast at first, but overall, I was able to move along. It actually felt really comfortable. At first, I was like, oh God, this is fast. But once I kind of got into it, it felt really nice. The penetration was pretty good. Obviously, it penetrated a lot more than the 90 or 100 amps. I'm not too concerned with the penetration yet, but there you can see it did get down into the joint. So again, yeah, the 110, I'm really happy with that setting. But of course, I'm going to go ahead and crank it up to 120, just see what happens. All right, this is going to be 120 amps. First with no filler, and then with filler. All right, guys, so here are the results of the 120 amp. Again, the puddle formed really quick, had to move along really fast. It was actually kind of almost to the point of being uncomfortable, but it didn't turn out too bad. Even with no filler, it turned out like a pretty nice joint. Again, really flat, not as concave. It did kind of chew into that lower or that outer edge of the joint a little bit. But adding the filler, yeah, it turned out pretty good. Overall, though, a lot of these welds are probably some of the best welds I've done yet up to this point in all this practice. I mean, I'm really happy with the way that outside corner turned out. The settings, I think I got them dialed in. I think the 110 is going to be my go-to kind of for now. Maybe even a little bit lower, just because that way I can move a little bit slower. The 110 felt a little fast at first. 120 was definitely faster. But overall, the welds turned out pretty good. There you can see compared to the 110 on top, with the no filler and the filler, and then the 120, the no filler at the bottom, and the second one up is with the filler. They all look pretty good for my first time doing this joint. But again, like I said, these are some of the best welds I've done yet. And I'm about to show you here, I didn't dip my tungsten once in this whole video. I was rather impressed with myself on that point. I really wish the audio would have caught that. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way these joints turned out. Really enjoyed this exercise. Yeah, I'm gonna I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go from here, but I really appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you on the next one.